Jai Radhe. Welcome to the new day of Samvad with Pundrikji. हम आशा करते हैं आप सब मंगलमय होंगे and this has been a beautiful day for you all our viewers, and I welcome all of you with all my heart. Before beginning anything, मैं प्रणाम करना चाहूंगी और स्वागत करना चाहूंगी हम सबके सूत्रधार परम पूज्य महाराज श्री पुंडरीक गोस्वामी जी महाराज को. I request him to please come live with us.
Radhe Radhe, Arushi and all the viewers, thank you for giving us some time. Today we were a little late because of course, some technical issues. But finally we are here and we had to do everything a little late because we are so honored today. I'm so happy that we have Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj with us. And of course, he's in America. So just with the time difference, we had to do this live little late at night, so it has become a late night show, but I'm very sure that this is going to make the whole night wonderful, even tomorrow's day, and I would say the whole lockdown period, Arushi, the whole I would say year, and I would say for few whole life would be wonderful, because Maharaj is with me. He's so dear to me and very respectful for me, and he has loved me so much, and I also love him from the bottom of my heart.
That is absolutely. I see the happiness on your face, Maharishi, and seeing you every day is making our days wonderful every single day after day. And I think this will definitely be a very, very soothing and beautiful night. And we absolutely look forward for all the wisdom you're going to shower on us, and that will be a pleasure, Maharishi. We just all want to know how are you today, and how is everything with you?
Oh, it was a little quite busy day, and there were a few things I had to do. And with the same time, I was excited for this evening conversation with His Holiness Maharaj.
Absolutely. So without any further ado, and I see the happiness on Maharashtri's face, I would like to pay my obeisances, pay my pranams, and humbly request His Holiness Sri Radhanath Swami Maharaj Ji to come online with us. He's such a wonderful personality, so humble, so down to earth, and his presence is making us soothe. Dandavat Pranam,
Maharaj
Maharaj, you're
Dandavat
most,
Pranam,
most
Maharaj.
welcome.
My Dandavat pranams. I am deeply grateful, honored, and filled with joy, Pundrik Goswami Anushi Devi, that you have brought me to Vrindavan, my eternal home.
Jai, Jai, Maharaj.
Thank you so
Jai,
very
Jai,
much.
Jai.
Maharshi, it's a true
Jai
pleasure
Maharaj.
to have you.
Shri Radharaman Ki Jai.
Jai Shri Radharaman Ki Jai, Shri Radhanath Swami Maharaj Ki Jai. It is an honor, Maharaj, to be with you. Wherever you go, I would say Vrindavan manifests there. Today, digital Vrindavan is being manifested because of your presence, Maharaj.
Absolutely.
Pundrik Goswami Ji. Pundrik Goswami Ji, I just want to share with everyone how special it is that I am together with you on this night. Your affection, I really feel, is Sri Radharaman Ji's kindness upon me.
Jai Maharaj. I think Radharamanji, because all the temple and everything is kind of closed for public, and only those who are getting the sevas, they are entering into the temple. But today, after such a long time, Radharaman has kind of expressed it with me that I'm also happy with you, Pundarik, and I'm also blessing you because he made this arrangement that I can see you, Maharaj. In Goswami Tulsidas, in Ramcharitamanas says, Maharaj, that Binu Hari Kripa Milahi Nahi Santa, that without the grace of Hari, you cannot meet a sadhu. So it's a grace of Radharamanji, and he is reciprocating that I could see you today, Maharaj. I could hear you today, Maharaj. It's an honor. It's really an honor. I would say this whole conversation, which we have been doing from last some days with different personalities, it was good, but today it is divine. Divinity manifested because of you. Jai. Arushi, I think you should come and then also take the session ahead. And there's some questions you wanted to ask Maharaj and me.
Ji, absolutely. I first want to start by asking Maharishi, how is this lockdown and shift going for you? I hope you're well there, and all the bhakts around you and Krishna Lava is going very, very well for you.
In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Hridesha Janatishthati, that he is within the heart of every living being. And Krishna never takes a step out of Vrindavan. So wherever we are deeply remembering Krishna in a mood of service with an aspiration for love and devotion, then we are with Krishna and Krishna is with us. And in that experience, wherever we are in the world, we could feel the presence of Vrindavan. And whenever possible, I go to Shri Vrindavan Dham to get that faith, that inspiration, that mercy by which I could remember Vrindavan wherever else I may go in the world. And actually, every situation is an opportunity to make spiritual progress and to serve. Hanumanji, when his tail was lit on fire in Sri Lanka, that's a very, very difficult crisis. He was tied up with ropes. His tail was bound with bandages, soaked in flammable oil, and then lit ablaze. But in that situation, Hanuman was thinking, how could I serve? And he transformed a crisis into a historical offering of service, of compassion. So it's an example, and there are so many such examples. Whatever situation we're in, if we turn to our beloved Lord, Shri Krishna, Shri Radha, who are within our hearts, then the opportunity to spiritually grow and the opportunity to serve becomes very much revealed to us. So, in one sense, Abrahma Bhupana Loka Punaravartanorjana Mamupetita Kontia Punarjanmana Vidyate. This material existence is kind of like a lockdown, different levels or phases, but the opportunity to actually focus our mind on the truest purpose of life, which is awakening the soul's love for Krishna, is always there with us. In Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's a beautiful verse. It was one of my Guru's favorite verses, and it's a guiding light in my life because it gives us infinite hope in every situation. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Satya Kabunai Sravanadi Sudhi Cheti Koriye Udoi. That love for Krishna is within the heart of every living being. By associating with those people who inspire that faith and that love, and by chanting God's holy names, that love is awakened. Jeev Jago, Gora Chandra Bole. That to awaken that love that is within us, to awaken that ananda, that pure spiritual joy, is the true aim of life. And the Bhagavad Gita teaches, and the Srimad Bhagavatam demonstrates that teaching through the life of so many great souls, how we integrate our purpose in life in whatever we do, wherever we are, and whoever we're with. And that by remembering Krishna, by remembering that to serve is, and to please Krishna, samsiddhir haritoshanam, is the true success in any situation I'm in. Beyond birth, beyond death, beyond any of these material considerations, Krishna's in our heart, calling for us, waiting for us, and we could respond. And that is the true glory of life.
Jai, 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 Maharaj. So beautifully said. I was just taking the deep dip of your divine words, Maharaj. What you have said so beautifully. Of course, it is materially, everything is locked down, but spiritually, it is unlocking everything, Maharaj. Of course, the whole life is somehow locked down only in this material world. But as you said, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and the words of spiritual masters like you is somehow unlocking us with all these material bondages as Tavad raga dayastena tavad kara griham griham tavan mohungri nigado yavat krishna nate janaha. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Brahmaji is praying with these beautiful words to Sri Krishna that Tavad raga dayastena. If a bird stays in a cage for some time, in the starting few days she struggles, but after some time she somehow get adjusted in with that inside the cage, and she just doesn't, even if you open the door of that cage, she will not fly away. So we were not realizing that, of course, exteriorly everything was open, but somehow we were in a lockdown situation from forever. And this coronavirus had come and gave us opportunity to unlock. And there's so many things which I can see in you are one of the major aspect which can unlock us. And there's so much material in the screen which I can see behind you. Bhagavad Gita, all the books, picture of Srila Prabhupada is there. All these things are there which can definitely unlock us, Maharaj. One more thing I definitely want to ask you, Maharaj. I know that personally we had also met sometimes. I cannot forget that time when I came to New York with Sachinandana Swami Maharaj, and you were there in the yoga studio, Maharaj, and we could share some time. It was unforgettable memory for me, Maharaj. I hope you remember that.
It was unforgettable. I remember the example you gave.
Oh, it's my fortune.
At the very end of my talk, we invited you to speak and give blessings to everyone. And you explained that when a lady puts on perfume for the pleasure of her beloved, then wherever she goes, everyone will experience the sweet fragrance of that perfume. And similarly, when we have love for Krishna, then wherever we go, whenever it may be or wherever it may be, everybody we come in contact with will experience in some way the joy of that love for Krishna. And after you spoke that, everyone was so thrilled with happiness and enthusiasm. And then we had kirtan, and it was a historical event in my life because it was the first time I danced with Pundrik Goswami Ji.
Jai, 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 Maharaj. It feels like that in that yoga studio, some Krishna Sakhis are dancing, Maharaj. You were in full ecstasy, Maharaj. Of course, Maharaj, my father always used to say, Maharaj, that of course, all the scriptures are talking about kathas, but as we have 12 Mahabhagavat, Prahalad was just not engrossed in the katha, but his whole life became a katha too. Similarly, Ajamil, similarly, there are so many people, Ambarish Maharaj, they all are talked about like 12 Mahabhagavats. So similarly, when I look at your life, Maharaj, you are just not engrossed in the kathas. In fact, your own life is a katha. And I always love it, Maharaj. I've heard, you have given me that book, The Journey Home, and I have heard your speeches on that too. And I always want to keep on hearing again and again. So I know the time is limited here, but very briefly, if you can tell us again your spiritual journey, and also one more specific thing, that you spent your very important time with Radharamanji when you reached Vrindavan for the first time. Especially all my family members would love to hear that from you, Maharaj.
I am a very small and fallen person, but I am so deeply and eternally grateful that I have the opportunity to follow in the footsteps of great personalities. To serve great souls is the aspiration of my life. However small we may be, Krishna gives us the opportunity to serve great souls. That is. So when I was a teenage boy, around 19 years old, growing up in the United States of America, there was something very missing, something very empty that I saw not only in my life, but everyone's life. And I was seeing so much greed, so much egoism, so much dissatisfaction, and however much money one has or doesn't have, that's still there. And there was so much prejudice and discrimination against people who were different, whether it's a different color of skin, a different race, a different nationality, a different religion. How could there be hate in the name of a loving God? So I went on a spiritual quest looking for the answers. And I studied Judaism and Christianity and the Baha'i faith and Islam. And I hitchhiked from London to India. It took about six months. And when I arrived in India, I went to the Himalayas and lived for some time as a sadhu on the banks of the Ganga and traveling through the forests and the jungles and meeting so many famous saints and saints that nobody has ever heard of in the public. Yeah. And in my travels, I studied various forms of yoga, various aspects of Hinduism and Buddhism, meditation. And it's by inconceivable arrangement, I was on my way to Amarnath to celebrate Shivaratri.
Jai.
And my train, I was on a third-class train, which sadhus used to ride for free in those days. And the train got stuck in a massive rainstorm. And for 24 hours, we were just in a field. And ultimately it moved, and at 5 o'clock one morning, the train finally stopped at a railway station. Now, at Pashupatinath, I was praying to Shiva, please show me my path. Because there were so many paths, and I actually loved all of them, but which one am I meant to follow? And in our stop in Varanasi, Kashi, I prayed to Vishwanath Kashi, please show me my path. And I prayed to the one God who I believed was truly the same God who was at the essence of all great religions and spiritual traditions. I was praying, what is my path? Please show me. And I was told that in Amarnath, all my desires will be fulfilled. So on the way, the train stopped. And it was so crowded, that train, I went out of the window to drink some water and to catch some air. But then the train left and I couldn't get back on it. It was too crowded. So I was stranded. I didn't know where I was. And I asked someone, and they said, this is Mathura, Krishna's birthplace. And today is Janmashtami, Krishna's birthday. So
Krishna pulled you from the train.
He pulled me. I was trying to be a puppet being pulled by the strings of God's grace, and he was pulling me. And ultimately, I got typhoid fever 2 days later, so I couldn't leave Vrindavan. And I was sleeping on the bank of the Yamuna River near Madan Mohan Temple, sometimes near Chirghat in Vrindavan. And it was there in Vrindavan, through the association of Brijavasis and great sadhus whose devotion was so sweet. And the concept of Radha, Sri Radha, the feminine aspect of the one Supreme Lord, it attracted my heart so deeply. The mother of all living beings, the Hladini Shakti, the pleasure potency of the Lord, who is the very reservoir and origin of all grace, of all forgiveness, of all kindness, of all love. It charmed my heart, and the path of bhakti, it was understood and revealed that all other paths that I explored were included within bhakti. And the idea of the bhakti of Vrindavan was so complete and so full and so sweet, where the power of the absolute truth is hidden by the Lord's sweetness, beauty, playfulness, and love. I never wanted to leave Vrindavan. And actually, I would sleep on the bank of the Yamuna under trees. And every morning when I was in the Vrindavan area, I would rise very early, take bath in the river Yamuna, offer my prayers and oblations, and then go to Sri Radharaman temple for Mangalarti.
Jai Radharaman ki jai.
And there was one other sadhu named Asim Krishna, and we would meet there. We would meet there at Radharaman temple for the Mangalarti every day. And sometimes we would sleep right on those platforms in the first dwaram, or the first gateway coming into Radharaman. And when I would hear the bell, I would run to the Yamuna and take my bath and then come for Radharaman's darshan. And for almost a year, every day, that's how I began my day, with Sri Radharaman's darshan, mercy. The Murti of Sri Radharaman, the absolute truth, the all-powerful, the all-pervading Brahman, in his original feature, is standing with this most playful, sweet smile glancing upon us. It was such a charming way to start the day. And I remember at one time, and I can't go into details because of time right now, but I was in such a disastrous situation. I write about it in detail in this book, The Journey
You told
Home.
me also once, Maharaj. Yes, Maharaj. You also told me once in Mumbai about it. Yes.
But it was such a crisis. I was in such turmoil because everything that I valued in life was being threatened, and I just saw no way out of it. And just after Mangalarti, I prayed to Sri Radhanath Ji, please, whatever is your will, reveal it to me. Give me the path by which I could truly surrender. And that very day, the most extraordinary, unbelievable, incredible thing happened to me and actually opened the pathway for the rest of my life. So any opportunity I could have to be with the Sevites, with the Goswamis, with the devotees of Sri Radharaman, I feel so deeply blessed.
Jai Maharaj. We could hear you for the whole night and day, morning. Oh Maharaj, there's so much nectar. Maharaj, did you used to enjoy the Kulia Prasad of Radharamanji?
I still do.
It is one of the best things.
It was like the ultimate gift. Because I had no money to give donations or anything in those days, especially. But whenever one of the Goswamis or one of the devotees would give me that little clay pot filled with that nectar, it was, I would take it to the bank of the Yamuna and sit under a kalpavriksha, a tree, and every taste, every morsel would completely invigorate my heart with gratitude. Sometimes when something isn't easy to get, we can appreciate it even more.
That is so beautiful.
Maharaj, we remember, Maharaj, that of course, did you used to enjoy Kulia Prasad with this finger, Maharaj? With that one, did you used to eat with the finger?
I used to use this finger.
What we do, Maharaj, we say, because Jay.
Yes. Nobody ever taught me what to do, but that's what I used to do.
No, Maharaj, what we say is that because while chanting, this finger is you have to take this out of the bead bag. So what once my elder Goswami told me, that because this finger is always out of the service of Thakurji, so then one she did so much tapasya that everybody has thrown me out. Oh, Radharaman, give me some seva. So then Radharaman said, I will make a prasad which everybody will eat with this finger.
Next time you give me this prasad, I will know how to do it properly. Thank you.
No, Maharaj. You already know it. Radharaman is Maharaj Radha Krishna Militanushi. He is a form of Vahira Shama Antara Gaura. Outside Shama Sundar and inside Radharani. And the Kulia Prasad, which we gave Maharaj, it's a saffron color pot, which has white, you could say, rubbery inside. So it's a giving of Mahaprabhu's love, because Sri Chaitanya was wearing saffron form, and inside it's Srimati Radharani in the form who's taking all the nectar of Krishna. So that is also one beautiful mood behind that Kulia Prasad. One thing that everybody will definitely like to know, Maharaj, what is the most fascinating thing about this whole tradition, about this Vedic tradition, Indian tradition, which you still find it so attractive because you have read, heard, and followed everything. You have most experience. Just like we say, we are so chistam jagat sarvam. You have tasted everything. So what is, I'm not asking for any comparison, but I would say what is the most fascinating and attractive part of this whole Vedic Sanatan Dharma tradition, which still inspires you, Maharaj? What is that one or two special things?
Savai pung sang paro dharmo yatok bhakti radhokshaje ahoitaki
Jai,
apati hata yayatma suprasidati. The
Jai,
Srimad Bhagavatam tells that the supreme Dharma means religion, it means occupation, it means nature. The supreme Dharma is that which awakens love for the one supreme Godhead. And such
Jai,
love is expressed through service. And when that loving service is expressed without motivation, influenced by greed or selfishness or false ego, and is not interrupted by any situation, that loving service completely satisfies the self. Ahoitaki aprahiti hata. During this time of the COVID-19 coronavirus, this is a great hope-giving meditation that in whatever situation, that opportunity to serve the Lord with love is there for us. It could be by chanting his name. It could be by reading Srimad Bhagavatam. It could be by being on the internet, speaking to thousands of people. It could be by cooking a meal for our family. But if we're really doing it for the pleasure of the Lord, the greatest aspiration in life is to reconnect with the very nature of our soul, which is unmotivated, uninterrupted love for Shri Shri Radharaman. And that aspiration is the greatest treasure in all of existence.
So beautifully you have said, Maharaj. That's pratihata, that love. Even Krishna has said, Sarva durman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma suchah. Just surrender into the lotus feet of Sri Radharaman, Radha Krishna. Sri Krishna himself is going to conclude everything in your life. When we are talking about yoga studio, Maharaj, I remember I said, if you want to calculate or measure the whole Vedic tradition, it starts from truth. It stays at, I would say, hospitality, compassion, and the extreme and the most ultimate stage of dharma is the pure love. And love makes everything so easy. We are talking about that divine love, which is the most attractive part, Maharaj. You have pointed out the most ultimate thing about this tradition. Everything is a practice. That's an emotion which can make every practice so easy, so natural, I would say. And that is something which will, even in this tragic situation, making everything easy for the devotees. One bigger thing, Maharaj, is the mental health now. Even in America, even in especially those who are not into any religious field and don't have any spiritual inclination, there's so much talk about mental health. Even within India, I've been reading that there's so much divorce are happening in the family. People are afraid about their future because it is unimaginable situation. I've been talking about that a lot from last many days. Even I try to instruct so many things, and even myself, I experience so many different things. If I tell you frankly, this is the first time when I think I'm around 30 years old now, Maharaj. This is the first time I'm at one place from last 3 months. It was never happened with me, spending time with the family. But this mental health is a major issue. Even in America, you are there now. So I have said few things, but I would like if you would add something there. That's going to be something like cherry on the cake. What is your what is your suggestion for that, Maharaj?
Goswamiji, every part of your cake has cherries.
Yeah. And that cherries has come from the garden of Radhanath Maharaj.
But, it's important, as you are saying, that param dristvani vartate.
Wow.
The Bhagavad Gita tells that everything's always changing. And we need to experience something higher, something more satisfying than all the ever-changing situations of this world. Like a foundation to a house. We may have a little hut made of straw, or we may have a gigantic skyscraper made of concrete and steel. Whatever the situation, if the foundation is not strong, when the storm comes, it will crumble. And one thing we know for sure, matra sparshas tu konteya sitos na sukha dukkha agama payano nityas tamstitikshasva bharata, that there will be sunny days and there will be storms that come in our life. So how do we remain stable? How does our mind deal with stress, with crisis, with disasters? Because they come for all of us. It's inevitable eventually. Death itself will come. What to speak of death of our loved ones? It's the nature of this world. So the purpose of sadhana, the purpose of satsang, the purpose of our spiritual practice in our very life is to actually develop an inner foundation. Apuryamanama chalapratishtam, the Bhagavad Gita tells that if we have a deep, full experience, that we're not disturbed by all the little things that happen. So the problem with the mind is looking for security, and it's looking for pleasure, and it's looking to avoid pain. But the problem is, in this material level, we can't do that sustainable. But if we find a foundation of inner peace, of inner happiness, and ultimately we find the shelter of Sri Radharaman's grace within our hearts, then we can be above all the changing things of this world.
Jai.
Bajahure mana Srinanda Nandana Abhaya Charana Ravindare Edana Jovana Putra Parijana. That everything's changing in this world just like a drop of water on a lotus leaf. That drop of water, it's just a matter of time till it slips away. So similarly, everything, our happiness, our distress, our pleasures, our pains, our success, our victories, they're all like drops of water. They're there and they're gone. It's just a matter of time. Bhajahun Hari Badami today. But when we take shelter of Lord Hari, when we actually sincerely take shelter, like Draupadi, like Gajendra, like Prahlad, like Ambarish Maharaj, like Ranti Dev, like Arjuna, and ultimately like the Brijavasis, the Gopis of Sri Vrindavan. When we learn to take shelter of Krishna, of Sri Radharani's grace, then that grace is param dristvani vartate. It's the higher taste. It's the higher experience. It's the foundation that keeps our mind in a peaceful, hopeful state beyond all of the different situations and changes of this world. Everyone is looking for that foundation. Bhakti yoga is the process of excavating our hearts and awakening the true potential within us to love, to serve, the soul, which is part of the Supreme Soul, is Nahanya Tehanya Mane Saride, is beyond birth and beyond death. We're all looking for that Amrita, that nectar. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prayed, Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadanam Sarvatmasa. That happiness, that nectar that we're all looking for is within our hearts. Chanting the names of the Lord awakens our realization of that happiness. Anandam Buddhivardhanam. To the degree we taste the sweetness of that higher taste, we actually have the capacity to share it with others. That is compassion. The greatest need in this world is for people to find joy in showing compassion to others, rather than trying to exploit people and things for our own satisfaction. One implicates us in suffering and death, and the other liberates us. And the deepest compassion could be shown when we cleanse our hearts and we learn to be instrument of the grace, instrument of Karuna Sindhu, the unlimited ocean of the mercy of Sri Radharamanji.
Jai Maharaj. So beautifully you have explained. You definitely did the cherry on the cake, Maharaj. Whatever I have been saying, Maharaj, you have beautifully concluded it, that mind definitely needs a foundation. And that foundation it can have only by chanting the holy name. That can take you deep inside. This mind is just like a small boy, Maharaj. Chanchalam hi manaha Krishna. Even Arjuna was facing the same thing. Krishna then ultimately said, Man mana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji namaskuru. You have given the gist of all the Shastras, Maharaj. And I would say the people who have the goal just to entertain their mind, they are the only people who are facing this issue of mental health. But those who can dedicate their mind into the service of Vaishnavas, Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, they were already healthy-minded people, pragyavana people, and they will always be, no matter what the situation has come. You have so beautifully said that word is keep on changing, and then just the issue comes when you accept changing word and stuck with something which would change, and you take it that it will never change. Somehow then the issue comes. You have said it so beautifully. Recently, I remember, Maharaj, when you were doing your Kartik Parikrama, I was following you, and of course I knew you were in Braj. I was so happy that you were also somehow looking, and see how Radharaman made an arrangement that on the last day you were leaving the temple, concluding your yatra, and I was entering the temple on Gopashtami, and I was starting my Kartik festival in Govardhan, and we could embrace each other in front of Radharaman. Oh, that was just a history I cannot forget even till my last breath. Radharaman made two beloveds meet.
Shri Radharaman. Yes, Mataji, I'm so grateful to you.
Yes. Arushi, is there any questions you would like to ask the viewers have? Then we will conclude after this.
Yes, Maharishi, Pundrik Maharishi, in conclusion, I just want to ask you something. Since Swamiji has been mentioning so much about Vrindavan and how he beautifully spoke about Radharaman, it literally took us back to Radharaman Prangan. And I just want to understand, you've been away from Vrindavan for your duty as a Bharatiya, and you abided by the rules. But I know how much you love Vrindavan, and everywhere, anywhere in the world you are, you will run to Vrindavan. back to Vrindavan. So, what has been your biggest realization in this time? Did you fall more in love with Radharaman and Vrindavan being away from them? As a devotee, just want to understand what has been your biggest realization being away from your beloved Vrindavan, Pundrik Maharaj.
Maharaj is also in Chicago, I would say. First, I would like him to answer that. He is much more far away. I'm not that far. So, so first, I would say he would tell his realization. And of course, if I talk about myself, as he said recently, if you find something easily available, sometimes you don't understand the value of it. Of course, the value of the darshan of Radharaman, the value of the mood of Vrindavan, the separation of it is a part of our Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Vipralamba increases the desire of meeting your beloved, I would say. But on the other hand, Arushi, there is definitely, if I tell you, Vrindavan is of course a place, a location, but much more than that, it's also a mood. Maharaj has made Govardhan Eco Village. My visit is still pending there, and I would request him to take me once there. He have created the whole Vrindavan there. There is Yamunaji, there is also a small Radharaman temple. Everything is there. So mood-wise, Arushi, I would say, I am carrying my Vrindavan in my emotional mood everywhere with me. This is something, this is what we would like to establish and understand it. But of course, Maharaj is in, like, we call it in Hindi, Saat Samundar Par. Like, he's in America now. So I would say, of course, geographically, he is very far. We would love to hear his realizations too.
Thank you, Goswamiji. Thank you, Arushi Devi. My beloved Guru Maharaj, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, was living in Vrindavan for many years. At the age of 69, with the inspiration of his beloved Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, and the direction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu to spread the glories of pure love of Krishna, he left Vrindavan. And it's a well-known story. He took a train to Calcutta, and there he boarded a cargo ship, 38 days over the sea. And then, without any money, without knowing anybody, he was living in New York City and various places. He didn't leave Vrindavan. This is what he told us. He said, I have not left Vrindavan. Because Vrindavan is in my heart, and I'm sharing Vrindavan. I'm opening the doors to Vrindavan for people all over the world. So that was his mood, that if we're sincerely chanting God's name, hearing Shravanam, Kirtanam, praying, remembering, if what we're doing is really in the service of Radharaman, in the service of Vrindavan, then wherever we are, we're in Vrindavan. And Srila Prabhupada taught, I never left Vrindavan, but rather I'm taking Vrindavan to other places.
Jai Maharaj, so beautiful.
And my Param Guru would say, do not try to see Krishna, but try to serve Krishna in such a way that he's pleased to see you.
Jai.
and Vrindavan is none different than Krishna. Vrindavaneshwari, Sri Radharani has manifested her love as Vrindavan. And to try to see Vrindavan is not the process by which Vrindavan is revealed to us. but we serve Vrindavan in wherever we may be in the world. And within our hearts, we are then actually in Vrindavan Dham.
Jai Maharaj. So my Guru Maharaj used to say, Maharaj, that there are two types of Vrindavan. One is a Sthula Vrindavan and one is a Sukshma Vrindavan. Many people, even when they go to Vrindavan, they are still not in Vrindavan. I remember one family came, they went to Vrindavan Parikrama, and when they came back, they said, oh, there was so much dirt, so much this, so much that. We will not go to Parikrama again. I said, okay, whatever. Then just after some time, another devotee came and he was dancing in ecstasy there. I could see the bliss in his eyes. I said, from where you are coming? He said, I went to Vrindavan Parikrama. I said, oh, they just came from the same place. They are crying and you are dancing. Didn't you see the dirt and all that mess? He said, no, I didn't see that, Goswamiji. I will come tomorrow. I will go tomorrow and I'll tell you. But then I asked him, what do you have seen? He said, I went to Parikrama and I've seen Krishna ran from there and somehow his chadar got stuck in my ring. And I was saying, oh, please leave me. And I was running behind him. After some time, somehow that entangled chadar left the ring and I just took some breath and I saw that my Parikrama was over. That Sukshma Vrindavan can be entered only by the grace of Radharani, which you all have, Maharaj. We are so grateful. You have showed us a adbhut marg to us. Even you have given me so much path today. Of course, we have been traveling for this prachar of what Mahaprabhu has expressed, and you have relieved and give so much relax to my mind also. And all the viewers are dancing in ecstasy. It seems it is a late night in India, but seems like a beautiful early morning Brahma Muhurta with you, Maharaj.
Jai, jai.
We have taken a lot of your time, Maharaj. Arushi, is there anything? I think we should conclude.
Just one quick question. I want to conclude that one of the viewer is asking, and she's been commenting. Her name is Sonam Sharma. Pundrik Maharaj, she has asked a question from you, saying, initially, can we force our mind and heart to fall in love with the Lord? Chanting and service till the time the natural love which is already there within our heart is not evoked. So I think precisely she's trying to ask that initially, can we convince our mind till the time we're not at the point of devotion that we aim at? Pundrik Maharaj, just a quick answer for this devotee.
I would say, Arushi, that if we can answer like for hours and hours on that, but simply say, just my father once said that just don't try to love, just become love. You don't have to, if you just become love, and that can only be happen with the lordships of with Sri Thakurji. If you just become love, then you will not get into so much calculations. As recently Maharaj was quoting that perfume of love, you're using it for someone specific, but everybody can everybody can smell the fragrance of love. So it's just you just become a form of love. If you just fully soaked in love, whoever would come will experience that, will understand the compassion, and will definitely enjoy the service. It's so late, and Maharaj's time is very precious. It's too late in India. I didn't want to go so much on that question also. We can privately answer that too. But Maharaj, we are so honored to have you. I would just want that we all can recite Mahamantra once together, and we will conclude this broadcast with that.
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
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 Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare
Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Radharaman Lal Ki Jai. Maharaj, I offer my most humble Dandavat pranams on your most beautiful lotus feet. I know you're always in Vrindavan, but still this Vrindavan, which is located near Delhi, in between Brajmandal, is waiting for you. I hope everything gets well very soon and we get to see you very soon. Every devotee is waiting for you. I know you're serving everyone digitally, but there's always, if you see a picture of a rose and if you have the original rose, still there is a difference. You can have the fragrance of the rose. So I offer my Dandavat Pranams. We are honored, Maharaj, and we will be in touch again and again. Again, I offer my Dandavat Pranams to you. Radhanath Maharaj ki jai.
Jai Shri Radharaman, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Jai Radhe. Thank you so much. What a beautiful discussion that was. It actually feels like Vrindavan, Maharaj, it doesn't it?
Yes, very true, Arushi, very true. So it was very nice, I would say. So intellectually inclined, full of devotion. It was full of devotion. We have been
Full.
talking intellectually before, but was full of emotions and devotion, and such a great session.
It
And
was
I know
very
everybody
soothing to
must have
hear.
enjoyed. Very soothing
Very,
to
very
hear.
soothing.
Thank you very much, Arushi, for arranging, and everybody, Devesh also, for all the devotees of Radhanath Maharaj also for arranging this beautiful live broadcast. Radhe Radhe to all the viewers.
Radhe
Good
Radhe.
night for India, good morning for America, and good day for Europe and Africa. Jai Radhe.
Dandavat Pranam, Maharshi. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, all the viewers who've been with us from both the countries and everywhere else in the world. We really hope you're doing very, very well in your lives. For the next update of Samvad with Pundarik Ji, you can keep in touch with our pages on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. All the handles are in the name of Pundarik Ji or Shri Pundarik. You can search us online. Otherwise, you can leave your questions or queries or by with the hashtag Samvad with Pundarik Ji. If you have any kind of question, we try to take as many as questions possible. So keep in touch with us. We are very, very delighted to have you. Dandavat Pranams, Jai Radhe. Please take care of yourselves.